All right, fellas.
Come on,
What I heard
maybe before it's fully on, Commissioner?
from my grapevine. One second. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So as we remain standing, let us remember our men and women in the armed forces. Let us also remember some local folks that passed: Darlene Coffey, Darlene Drexler, Ruth Ann Baker. So the board is all here, along with the village clerk, the village attorney. Who's over here?
Gina, John, and Ken.
John Jones, the highway and wastewater, and Chief Scott. We all have masks. Some hand sanitizer up here if you guys want some. Number one on the agenda is to approve the minutes. We had our regular meeting 2 weeks ago tonight on the 4th of May.
So moved.
Second. Motion by trustee DeSalvo and second by trustee Livesey. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next on the agenda is a $4,000 transfer within the sewer budget. Take $4,000 from the G 1990.1990 sewer contingency, put it into the G 1440-0400 sewer engineer, per the recommendation of the village treasurer. Again, that's self-explanatory. It's the bills from the village engineer on time spent at the sewer plant.
So moved. Second.
Motion by trustee DeSalvo, second by trustee Howard. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next on the agenda is to approve a recommendation from our fire chief, Eric Smith, for a new member into the Holland Falls Fire Department, John Wilson, pending a physical. You haven't received it before the meeting tonight, Gina?
No, because they were having issues with getting physical. So it's
Okay,
gonna take a little bit of time.
yeah. He's, of course, okay. So it would be approving him pending a physical report. He does come highly recommended by the chief, and it would be another positive member to the department.
Motion.
Motion by trustee Livesey, second by trustee Ramus. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next, I need approval to sign a settlement agreement, $1,995, with part-time police officer in reference to a 207C claim. You have that before you.
So moved.
Is there a second?
And you're authorizing the mayor to sign it.
Yeah.
Second.
Motion by trustee DeSalvo, seconded by trustee Livesey. May I have roll call?
Trustee Howard?
Aye.
Trustee Livesey?
Aye.
Trustee Ramus?
Aye.
Trustee DeSalvo?
Aye.
Mayor DiNapoli?
Aye, motion carries. Thank you. Next is a motion that I would need to sign an agreement with the Orange County Funding Corp., in essence the IDA, for engineering services for a grant for $45,000, which goes towards engineering services for the Restore New York grant that we have that we're still moving forward with. But this is this is asking for an extension. The current agreement goes to May 31, 2020, and the extension would take us to December 31, 2020.
I'll make a motion that the mayor be authorized to sign the extension with the Orange County Funding Corporation.
Second.
Motion by trustee DeSalvo, second by trustee Ramus. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next is a change order, looking for a motion to approve. It's for the sidewalks at the south end of town here, as we did last year at the north end. It's a change order for the same reason. It's a change order because it's the same contractor, and so we have a quote of $209,335 with Kelleher Construction for additional sidewalks on the south end of Main Street.
Motion.
Motion by trustee Livesey, is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Howard, may I have roll call?
Mr. Mayor,
Yep,
on the back of that contract, there's just 2 typos in my opinion. It says by the town. I just hope that we change that to village, please. Thank you.
may I have roll call?
Trustee Howard?
Aye.
Trustee Livesey?
Aye.
Trustee Ramus?
Aye.
Trustee DeSalvo?
Abstain.
Mayor Denarco?
Aye. 4 yeses, 1 abstain. Motion carries. Next, along with that project of the sidewalks, is our engineers for engineering services for the sidewalks, which I need to sign if you approve, for $39,600.
So moved.
Motion by trustee DeSalvo, is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Howard, may I have roll call?
Trustee Howard?
Aye.
Trustee Livesey?
Aye.
Trustee Ramus?
Aye.
Trustee DeSalvo?
Aye.
Mayor Denarco?
Aye, motion carries 5-0. Okay, next we have another change order from a contractor we hired to do our pool restorations at Roe Park, B&B Pool and Spa. It's for $786, and it's for additional work that's needed for the pool repair project. There's an issue over there with the slide and a pump. And so the change orders, again, is for $786.
Mr. Mayor, I noticed that the pool is full and running right now, so are they going to do that this summer, or are they going to
Do,
repair it?
they are,
Because the pool is full. right
Yeah,
now, running.
yeah.
What are they going to do, going to drain it out?
No, I believe they did most of the work.
Really?
Yeah, I don't want to say they're done because they have this here, but they're, with the big stuff, with doing the inside of the pool, putting
Yeah.
tile up, they had to fix a step, a ladder, this
They got
pump.
their- Yeah, because I noticed it, I mean, it looks really nice.
Yeah, it looks nice, looks like you want to jump in it, but,
Yeah.
They had to fill the pool, Merv,
yeah.
because of the,
They have-
whatever they used to
Yeah, they don't
do.
want the pressure in, yeah.
They had to fill it in
Yeah.
order for that to set.
No, it looks good, I mean, the water was a little cool, but it's nice.
So moved.
Hold on, wait. We have money, there's
Yep.
there's a cushion for this, right, Mr. Mayor?
There's a little money left in the total grant that we had received of $140,000.
Perfect.
When you add up the 3 jobs, the pool, the basketball court, and the playground, it was shy of 140.
Okay, great, thanks.
Motion.
Motion by trustee Livesey, is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Howard, all in favor?
Do we have any idea?
Wait a minute, I gotta get either pass or we don't pass it. I don't hear
I
anything.
got a motion, second over here.
Yeah, but all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I guess we don't know where we are with the county on this,
With the county?
with pools.
Oh, they're nowhere near pool openings.
No,
I'm sorry.
it's terrible.
Yeah, not yet,
Well, we have the res,
not yet.
the good old res.
Okay, we have a request, there's no paperwork, it's a request from American Burrito. He would like to stay in parking lot number 2. He thinks it'll be shorter than this, but I'm suggesting September 1.
Motion.
He has paid us. Motion by trustee Livesey, is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Ramus, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain.
May I have roll call?
Trustee Howard?
Aye.
Trustee Livesey?
Aye.
Trustee Ramus?
Aye.
Trustee DeSalvo?
Abstain.
Mayor D'Onofrio?
Aye. 4 yeses, 1 abstain. Hot dog cart. So he came to me, and his location is kind of near the staging area for Precision Pipe, who's doing the work for Central Hudson. And he'd like to move while that is a staging area.
Where does he want to move to?
Well, somewhere else in the parking lot, probably further north. He did mention up by the American Burrito. The only problem when he said it that way that I thought of was it gets narrow up there. You know, so I'm not quite sure. Would you like to look at it with him to see where it could go?
Sure, I could do that, but I wouldn't really, I mean, right now, opposed to any area, you know, that as long as there's able for vehicles to get in and out, no pedestrians that are going to be in the way. I think moving towards the north end would be all right,
Yeah.
you know?
So I would like to have a motion that on a temporary basis, because there is a designated spot for him. So we're letting him leave that designated spot on a temporary basis and go somewhere else in the same parking lot.
To be determined with a walkthrough by trustee.
I would like that.
Sure, I will.
You have something in common there.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no problem at all.
Okay. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by trustee Ramus, is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by trustee DeSalvo, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
I'll get in touch with him.
Yeah. Next, we have to accept an off-site improvement installed as depicted on approval site plan of the Ogard Hotel per recommendations of the village engineer. Now, what we're doing here is, a while back, if you remember, I wanted a commitment over and above, I wanted a commitment in writing that they would fix Fickens Field, even though it belongs to the school, and replenish the escrow. They've done that. They have done that. The escrow's been replenished. The work on Fickens Field is done and completed and has been accepted through a phone conversation with me, with one of the maintenance guys.
Tom?
Not the head guy, the second guy.
I think his last name was Ross.
Ross?
I think his last name was.
They did additional work up there since the last time we talked about it?
Well, I know they re-soiled and seeded.
Seems like, it looks like they, York raked out any of the stones and cobbles that were there. Put down some new loam and seed.
So by approving this letter, it allows him to get his site plan. Now, again, he did what I asked him, what you guys told me to ask
What
him.
about the stone?
The school loves those stones.
That, in the school,
Oh,
Mr. Mayor, and I believe the school is the one who actually went down there and they gave him some type of a diagram on how they wanted them there. And that's the
Yep.
way they were placed.
Stone is happy. School's happy with it, which I think it's one of the biggest eyesores in the town. But that's an opinion, not the schools.
Well, exactly, it's not.
So that's not an issue tonight,
No, it's not,
okay?
so.
So I need,
So, and one of those quick things, so when developers come into the community and they see an issue or a problem that we have, and they, not required to, but make improvements to the village infrastructure, I think that's a plus for the village as a whole. They spent an enormous amount of money over there to take care of a flooding drainage issue that we had. And the sad thing is, we don't even know if they're gonna build a hotel, but they spent hundreds of thousands of dollars here in this village to improve the village.
Well, I put it a little different than that. I would put it that they did what we asked them to do because there was a drainage problem that they were only going to add to. So they didn't do us a favor. There's no favors here.
They were not required to do that.
They were required to do it by the village.
No, they were not.
Well, they were, Jim. Otherwise, they wouldn't. That's the only reason they did it. And they did it, well, you can have your opinion, but they did it based on there being a drainage issue there.
When they came to the planning board, they were not required to do that.
Okay, let's go back.
We can't make them, you can't make a developer put in $300,000 worth of infrastructure,
Okay,
just so he can build his project.
okay.
They came in, they knew in advance that they had a problem. And the first developer that came in was the one that offered to fix that. So the village didn't require them to, they came in and did it. And that carried through the next two approvals from the different entities that took over that project.
The bottom line is we differ. I don't agree with what you're saying. It doesn't matter. We have almost $400,000 worth of drainage was done. So, Gina, what do we need for this letter?
Just for the board to accept that they have done the
That they-
improvements.
okay.
Kind of the middle paragraph there in the letter that you
Mhm.
have. It has to be installed and you accepting it for them to get a site plan, so
Okay.
you're happy with
I know
it?
our engineer has approved that the drainage does work. We are, if this passes tonight, we are holding $34,500 in escrow, which we can hold for 1 year from today.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by trustee DeSalvo and seconded by trustee Livesey. May I have roll call?
Trustee Howard?
Aye.
Trustee Livesey?
Aye.
Trustee Ramus?
Aye.
Trustee DeSalvo?
Aye.
Mayor D'Onofrio?
Aye, thank you so much. All right, next we have a resolution, vehicle and traffic for a handicap spot. It's in response to a homeowner on Drew Avenue. Handicap spot. Now this actually says for a resident of 16 Drew Avenue, as the chief wrote it. It's not for that specific owner. It's a handicap spot. He can park there as he will, but so can someone else that's handicapped. The following amendment will have to be added to the Village Code, Section 108-71, handicap parking. Name of street. Name of street is Drew Avenue on the north side, and the location is 138 feet from the northeast corner of Church Street and Drew, and continuing east for a distance of 20 feet.
Mayor.
Yes.
So this is amending the section of the code.
That's how he wrote it.
Vehicle and traffic?
Yeah.
Then it has to be introduced.
No, these can be done by resolution,
Is that what it says in the
In the
code
code?
itself?
yes.
I
Okay.
think we've
That
done it.
section, handicap
Okay.
parking,
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by
Second.
trustee Livesey. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by trustee DeSalvo. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Chemical bids.
Joe, I'm sorry, that required a roll call.
Roll call, or does? Okay, roll call then on that.
Trustee Howard?
Just on the handicap spot.
Trustee Livesey?
Aye.
Trustee Ramus?
Aye.
Trustee DeSalvo?
Aye.
Mayor D'Onofrio?
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you so much. Chemical bids. We had an opening a couple days ago. You have, after John Jones's review, you have the low bidders. We're dealing with Jones Chemical was the low bidder on some items, Slack was the low bidder on some, and Coin was a low bidder on, looks like one of them. So we'll deal with, if we go with the low bidders, we'll deal with 3 different companies as we usually do.
Motion?
Second.
To accept
Coin, Slack, and Jones.
as the low bidder on all of these different chemicals, okay? There's chlorine here, fluoride here, sodium, lime,
Just to add that Jones Chemical doesn't have anything to do with John Jones.
sodium hydroxide. That's not what Trump is pushing around, is it? No. Okay. Don't drink this. It's for the,
Not for Corona.
it's not for the virus.
Right.
Thank God.
Somebody called
You
Trump.
had a motion?
I had a
and
motion by trustee Howard.
And you had a second by trustee Livesey.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, I got 2 ayes. I need one, I need three ayes, and you can do with the other 2 with what you want. May I have roll call?
Trustee Howard?
Aye.
Trustee Livesey?
Aye.
Trustee Ramus?
Aye.
Trustee DeSalvo?
Aye.
Mayor DiNapoli?
Aye, thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, grass cutting, recommending by John Jones, he respectfully recommends to the board that we accept the low bidder of $11,865 from L&L Property Maintenance for grass cutting services.
So
This
moved.
would start on June 1 and go to May 31, 2021.
So moved.
Motion by trustee
Second.
DeSalvo, a second by trustee Livesey. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next, you have a letter about a water bill, 37 Drew Avenue. Take a moment and read it, and we can discuss it. They're looking for a decrease in their water bill after they had a leak.
This the meeting?
I don't think that we have done this, but again, it's up to you guys.
On the backside is a letter from Jack.
You have the water department's comment on the back.
Gina, do we have an idea of what the sewer bill may be anticipated, since they had so much water?
Yes, about $2,600 probably.
So-
But I want the board to remember something here, that this particular water, because of where it was leaking from, went into our sewer system. This did not go into the ground. That's a big difference compared to other times that we've adjusted sewer bills. So right now, we're talking about a water bill.
Well, historically, we've never forgiven water bills, so that's why I asked the question about the sewer bill. Because sewer bills, we have historically
Oh.
given back.
Okay?
We have given back, and I think in some cases going back, there may have been 1 or 2 times where the water didn't go into the ground, and we forgave it.
Well, before I make that comment, I
So-
would want to know if that's real, because as far as I
Well,
know, the
I said-
times that we gave a sewer reduction, it was because it went into the ground. That's my memory.
Okay, well, I said I think, so I'm
Yeah.
not 100% sure. But
Listen, you know,
But we're talking about the water bill anyway.
we're talking about a toilet that's been leaking since February.
Right.
I
Yeah,
mean,
they should have.
This is in your house and you got a toilet leaking since February. I don't get it. How can you not?
I would be more apt to reduce the sewer bill that we've done in the past.
Well, I'm going to correct that. You better be careful. And we haven't done it in the past that I know of. But that'll be checked out, believe me, tomorrow.
So what would you like to do then on this case?
Well, we're talking about the water bill. I don't
Okay.
see why we're forgiving anything. I go with what Merv's just said. It was a leak in their toilet. When my toilet's running, I know it.
Okay,
You know, I know it, because I hear it.
I'm good with that.
I just at the last board meeting made a comment about turning on the water and getting everything going and making sure you have no leaks and pools and everything else. I just made that comment.
Yeah.
But this has been going on since February.
Yeah.
You know,
So is there any interest in adjusting the water bill? Otherwise, I'll move on.
The question is the last sentence of the
Okay.
letter. That's what they're asking.
1, 2, 3, 4.
We don't take partial payment.
No.
So we take in full or
Right.
you decide.
So what she's asking for is what I'm hearing maybe we're not willing to do, which is to adjust her water bill. Is there anyone in favor of adjusting her water bill? Next, the street sweeper,
Sorry, can you just then, would you like me
You want a
to
motion?
send a letter to explain your decision, or that, you know, take a motion on it so I can refer to that?
sure. Is there any motion, is there a motion that we don't adjust this water bill that's before us?
Have we ever done a motion to do that?
That we don't adjust the
Correct.
motion.
Yes.
You made a motion?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a motion on the floor. Is there a second? Second. May I have roll call?
Trustee Allard?
Aye.
Trustee Livesey?
Aye.
Trustee Ramus?
No.
Trustee DeSalvo?
Yeah, yes.
Mayor D'Onofrio?
Yes. 4-1, 4-1. Passes. So we'll do a letter? Will that help you?
Yes, are you directing me to
Well,
send a letter?
yeah.
Okay, that's what I'll do.
Again, I don't think we want to get into the business of adjusting water bills when there's a leak. When there's a leak, I don't want to start listing leaks, but this is obviously a leak as if their kitchen sink was dripping. I mean,
My recollection from my time as attorney is that there are provisions in the code that allow you to adjust sewer if it doesn't go into. the sewer.
correct, yeah.
That's my
Yeah,
recollection of
yeah.
what we've done in the past.
Yeah.
Other boards sometimes provide payment plans if it's a huge amount of money, but
Yeah.
I've just seen that in one other area.
Okay. Okay, the wastewater treatment plant belt press replacement project is moving forward ever so slowly. We already awarded the bid to Eventus. They're not meeting all the requirements per the, I lost it, the grant, the money.
NWBE,
Yeah, but for, it's a requirement by the
EFC.
EFC. It's a requirement that they have a minority business somewhere, either where they buy the parts, or they buy the whole thing, or they works for them. They don't have that, the low bidder, Eventus. So they're asking for a waiver. So we're sitting tight till they get the waiver, which I can tell you that John Jones, is he sitting over there?
Yep.
And I and Todd and Gina are pressing them to get, because we need the belt press installed. So that's just an update. Bog Meadow updates. I know the highway department and the water department have been up there. I know the road's been fixed with some fill-in, some item that they have up there, the potholes, and I know that they've been working on the brush and trees, and that's kind of like a ongoing project all the time. But John, how does it look up there?
Everything looks pretty good up there.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Parking meters, I've asked parking meters to be put on the agenda tonight. What do you want, what would you like to do with the parking meters? What I'm suggesting is either we make a motion tonight not to enforce the parking meters. We don't have our code enforcement officer in right now because of the virus. We can do it we can do it every 30 days, we can go out 60 days, we can do it once a month, like I said, 30 days. But I would recommend that at least for the next 30 days, enforcement is not done on the parking meters.
Will that take away from that proposal you're doing where you spend $50 and you get a year off of parking or whatever?
Well, that's you know, I can extend somebody a month if they come to me, say that. Yeah. It's helping the businesses a little bit, I guess. I'm not sure, but the point is that we're not enforcing the meters now.
I just, you know, how's that gonna be with somebody that wants to park the car and leave it out there for the...
There's still a 2-hour maximum.
So you will be enforcing.
We'll enforce that if we have to. I'm sure there's people that park more than 2 hours, but
What do you want to do, 30
you
days?
know, yeah, I think
So
that,
moved.
you know, then we'll come back in 30 days to see what's going on.
There's nothing
30
open
days.
out there anyway.
Okay.
Second.
Motion to extend the non-enforcement of the parking meters until, let's go till June 30th. Is that all right?
As amended.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. I have bills, claims for fiscal year 2020.
Motion.
$372,272.35. Now that's high only because there's a lot of projects that are being paid for that we've authorized. So that's the bills. Go ahead.
Just a quick question, John, on the Nardo project on Schneider, how's that? I mean, the bill's here for 85, is it pretty much done?
They're close to finished. It's going
That's
good.
pretty good.
That's about half done.
Yeah? Thanks.
I have a motion to pay bills by trustee Howard. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee DeSaba. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Are you gonna have, does that have to be signed? No, it's,
Do I have something you want?
no, you're good, you're good.
All right. So let me start with a virus update. I'd like to thank, and trustee Livesey reminded me of this, and I appreciate it. This country has 40,000 National Guardsmen and women out there, taken away from their families, taken away from their jobs, out there helping different states handle this virus, whether it's food, whether it's PPEs, and a host of other things. So we want to thank them. As far as the town of Highlands, meaning Highland Falls and Fort Montgomery, only Highland Falls and Fort Montgomery, our numbers continue to go up. We're up to, as of this morning, 118. Now, I can tell you that a majority have recovered. So that's where that number is, 118. The county numbers, and the county numbers are important because the county numbers dictate that as far as when we will open up as a county, phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. So in Orange County, as of 3 hours ago, cases, 10,158. That's up 98 cases since Saturday. That's not good. Hospital. There's 128 people in hospitals in Orange County. From Saturday, that's down 32. Deaths in Orange County, going back to March, 419. That's up 9 since Saturday. And I want to say something about the total number. Soon, within days, we'll reach 100,000 folks in this country that have died. Now, you know, it's a number, but when you start to think about 100,000 individuals, it's mind-boggling. It's a shame. It's terrible. There's no words. So, it's a number, but it's so much more than a number. So much more than a number. Recovery from the hospitals, 1,154. That's up 10 since Saturday. There's a possibility that if the county can convince the governor that, and he's working on it every day, throughout the day, that Orange County might be able to open up into phase 1 this weekend. But again, the numbers quite aren't there. But they're working on it. I just want us to remember that these are people just like us, people we see every day. I have a friend who's in a nursing home in Montgomery, 95 years old, 2 weeks ago. And think about this, her family went and they stood at the window. How sad. So those are the numbers. I'll give you one more number. In Orange County, there's been 39,390 tests done. They do 300 to 400 a day. Out of that 300 to 400, around 25, their number was 25.3% test positive. So you see the number is there, not to allow us to open, that this continues in this way, in this direction. Okay, someone had asked me about yard sales. The county is recommending against yard sales. I have a meeting scheduled with the county executive, Steve Newhouse, Dr. Gilman, Emergency Services, on West Point graduation, which is June the 13th. I spoke to them Friday, and I spoke to them again this morning. And I'll be going out to Goshen once I get a few more facts from West Point, for which I had a discussion this morning, late this morning, with the garrison commander. So someone had asked me about if someone tests positive, what should they do? Any person who has tested positive for this COVID-19 through laboratory testing is required to remain isolated at the individual's place of residence or other location as medically necessary until such time as the individual is no longer infectious and in accordance with the clearance criteria as set forth by the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. So if you have it, please stay home. The governor and the county executive have issued an executive order a while back, actually, for individuals age 2 and older and able to medically tolerate a face covering shall be required to cover their nose and mouth with a mask or cloth face covering when in public, and unable to maintain or when not maintaining the social distance. So I'm asking, because I see it out there, I was in a state park over the weekend in Rockland County, and if I saw 1,000 people, 900 did not have masks on. People want our county to open up. The retail stores want to open up. Unless we do this, they're not going to open up because the numbers are going to continue. So all I can do is ask you to wear a mask and to stay 6 foot apart. As I've done other meetings, I'll read what's open in the village of Highland Falls and Fort Montgomery as far as pickup and delivery. These are restaurants that you can't go into, but you can pick up or deliver. Andy's Restaurant, you can go down there and pick it up, or you can or he'll deliver. The Barnstormer in Fort Montgomery has pickup only, no delivery. Bear Mountain Pizza, great pizza. They have pickup and delivery. Hacienda, just down the road here, has pickup and delivery. Maria Benitez, pickup only, no deliveries. Park Restaurant, pickup and delivery. And I want to, all these restaurants need to be commended. And this community needs to be commended because you're going there, you're supporting them. The Park Restaurant had to put in a second phone to take orders because the first phone was busy all the time. So it's good. Richie's Little Place in Fort Montgomery has pickup. West Point Pizza has pickup and delivery. Both hardware stores are open. And Lilies of the Valley florist is open at times. At times, the hardware stores are open every day. I have visited every store, hardware store, restaurants, pizza places, every week, at least twice a week, so just to see how they're doing and if there's anything that we can do. I have a folder that I've started for FEMA for reimbursement. They're talking about FEMA stepping up and having funding to reimburse communities. Everything from cleaning to equipment that the fire department has had to buy, to downstairs we had to buy some plexiglass to separate the ladies. We had to buy some PPE equipment, and there's been some overtime in the police department because of the virus. And so all that's being kept in a folder, and when the time comes, we'll be ready to fill out an application that's probably a thickness of a book to get money returned to us, which I look forward to. Also, our application is into the Community Development Block Grant run by the county for $20,000 for PPEs, personal safety equipment, and $30,000 for food. I called Senator Skoufis this morning to thank him for this grant and financial assistance resource guide. When I and the village clerk have time, we're going to go through it. There's many opportunities in here to related to the virus to get reimbursed. So I thank the senator, along with wishing him well as he returns to work after having the virus himself. This Saturday coming, May 23rd, this is important. This Saturday coming, May 23rd, Trustee Howard and I will be at the parking lot, Lot 2, across from Sacred Heart, from 11 to 1. Anyone can stop by. We're going to give out masks and hand sanitizer. So I'll give you a little container of hand sanitizer, or a couple of them. I have masks to give out. And I have ordered through Amazon some pediatric or children's masks. I hope to have them this week to also give out, because they need a smaller one. So as soon as I get those, I'll be handing those out. This morning, around noontime, I had a meeting with the IDA and the garrison commander at West Point about the artificial intelligence. We haven't talked about that in maybe a month, a couple of meetings, but that it still is moving forward. West Point is totally on board. They will be supplying a letter to the IDA of their support. I don't want to say the good news with the virus because there is no good news. I wouldn't even call anything a silver lining. But the virus has created an interest in telemedicine and other areas, the drones, of people that want to come here. They're actually almost begging to come here and set up here in Highland Falls. So the virus hasn't maybe touched that as bad as it's touched other things. So we're going to be moving forward with that and working with the new owner of Key Bank for where the artificial intelligence will go. I have a letter campaign that'll be announced this week with the News of the Highlands named Everyone Knows a Hero. Everyone knows a hero. I'm hoping that children will write a letter to a hero. Could be a nurse, could be a doctor, could be a fireman, a police officer, a grocery store worker, anyone that's provided a service during these last 2 to 3 months. Everyone knows a hero. Letters can be dropped off downstairs or the box that's outside on the front of Village Hall. Todd Atkinson, our engineer, will be getting us prices on Liberty Street wall, Mearns Avenue wall, seal coating the north end, and sealing the road seams in the streets that we did last year. On June 1, he'll have that information for us. He'll give us a report on the telephone poles that are being moved at the north end, the walls, and he'll also discuss with us Bog Meadow repairs over and above what the brush repair. This is engineering stuff. So on June 1, he'll give us all that. I called the DOT about the road South Main Street to see if a permit could be received. The answer was no. I have a letter here from Central Hudson regarding gas mains on Main Street, and they're informing the businesses, the owners of these buildings, that early June, they're going to be relocating at the indoor meter in the basement, and they'll relight any gas appliances. They'll come up into your establishment and relight all your gas appliances. Letters are being mailed to customers before they start this endeavor. We have downstairs, done by the village clerk's office, an informational sheet. It's one-sided. It has our phone numbers, department head phone numbers, when water bills are due, how much is water by the gallon, sewer bills, property tax, when it's due, June 1, etc. Recycling, village codes, where to find them on the website, and it has the current new rate of our taxes that we adopted at the last meeting. This is a nice piece of paper to have. So they're downstairs. The dial-a-bus was supposed to start. Do you know if they did, Merck? Today. Okay, so the dial-a-bus is back in action. All you need to call is 446-RIDE, R-I-D-E, 7433. 7433 if you need the dial-a-bus.
Jeff, we're and stuff.
Yes. As I mentioned earlier, there's going to be a meeting with Central Hudson this week. I should have more information for you guys. This is about the overhanging lines at the north end. I told you Todd will give us an update on the moving of the poles. The chief and I met with the farmers market folks that are putting it on. I'm happy to announce that they are going to do the farmers market this year, 2020. Same place, and they're working out the details on where the folks that want to participate, come and buy at the farmers market, how they'll come in. You'll come in one end of the parking lot, leave at the other end. I think the booths will all be on the west side, nothing on the east side. And they're working hard to, there's guidelines for, New York State guidelines for farmers market, and they're adhering to all of them. You'll have to have a mask on. Again, you'll only be able to get in one way and out another way. Ward Paving came back and fixed all the items that were on the punch list. We had a major water break and gas leak last Tuesday down here at the corner of Mountain and Main. Water line was hit, and then in fixing it, the gas line was hit. And I know our guys were there till at least 10 o'clock at night working, along with Central Hudson and Precision Pipe. So that was a long day for them. I have a truck equipment report. I'll make copies of it. Tim Green gave it to me, and it's a few pages long, but he has every vehicle, the condition, the year, good or bad or ugly. I'll make a copy of it and put it in your boxes. Cell tower. Update on the cell tower. Verizon has been here. They're interested in coming here. And the update is that all the parties will be here this Thursday. And to continue their research, they're going to have a construction team with them. These are, and I want to make it clear, cell tower, these are really antennas that'll go on the roof of the village hall. They'll have their engineering team here along with their construction team. John, you have this to have someone here for them to get up on the roof?
Yes.
Okay. And so from that, I'll get an update and share it. I told you about Mearns Avenue wall, Liberty Street wall. Belfast. This is the truck report. I'll make a copy of this and give it to you guys. There's a group of guys that want to wear masks and stay socially distant from each other, as we're told to do. They want to have a ball game at the softball field at Roe Park. I told them I would bring it up tonight for your approval or not. They want to have this game Sunday. Any comments? Yes, no?
Park open or closed?
Well, we have the field open, meaning the grass. Merv had asked me to do that, and I did that I think at the last meeting.
I have to tell you, Mr. Mayor, the park right now, since we did open up the field, has been beautiful. I mean, the kids are out there doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing. The other day, I know there was a dad up there playing pitch with his couple sons.
Nice.
It was just nice. I mean,
Nice.
everybody, you know, there was a couple girls sitting on one of the pavilion tables. They were playing, I think, chess or something. So that was nice. But I really don't think it's quite ready for team play yet. You know, that's just my opinion. I don't think we're there. I think the way we're doing this and we're just starting off lightly, I think we need to continue this because if you allow one, you may want to allow them all. And I don't think we're ready to have two teams up there playing yet. That's just my opinion.
I think you're right. Any other opinions? Move on, if not, okay. All right, is John still over there? John, I want to talk for a moment with the board about the broken sewer line. So there's a broken sewer line, main, in Ondiora Park. It goes from the intersection of Ondiora and Knox, heads east down to maybe where Janet Dutt lives.
144 feet.
It's 144 feet long. I did see some of the images on the camera today, John. So we're looking for approval that John can get a couple of quotes from TAM and from Hydrovac to remove the dirt and the rocks. And then TAM, he's not sure if Hydrovac does it, but maybe another company, if not, a replacement of the pipe. Of course, we don't have a price, but we have a broken main sewer line, so we really don't have any choices. Now, we could do it in-house, except we couldn't do the dirt and the rock removal. We'd still have to have TAM.
And we may have to bypass pump it also, and we don't have that capability.
Yeah, they can get it done very quickly, where us, it would take days. And bypassing the sewer is not something I personally want to get involved in, but we could, you know. So my recommendation is that we get a couple quotes and we go with the low bidder, and I'm not going to bring this back because we need to fix it now. Any objections to that plan? Okay. John, move forward maybe tomorrow with getting some quotes.
Andy from TAM is coming tomorrow morning, and if Hydrovac doesn't do it, I'm gonna go up and talk to Denardo.
Oh, yeah.
He can give me a quote.
Yeah, he might be good to have too. Yeah, okay, good. Bring them back to me and we'll talk, and then we need to do it.
Okay.
We have several items to go into executive session about, but before that, Brian?
Last Saturday, as the mayor stated, everyone in the park giving out masks. Trustee Ramos was down at this end of the park with a sign getting people to go through with us. It was just unbelievable. The sense of being a strong community with caring residents certainly resonated throughout the 2.5 hours we all spent down there. One resident, who was quite ill, donated food and a donation to the food pantry. And as she was leaving, she stated, "Yep, I'm sure some people have it worse than I do." A husband and a wife who operate a business which has been closed down repeated the same message. This positive message was repeated throughout the 2.5 hours we were down there. At the end of the day, I thought about the book, The Greatest Generation. My father-in-law was in North Africa, Sicily, and then the second day of D-Day. Men and women came home, married, found jobs, bought houses, raised families. I realized that the people we met were not of the age of the greatest generation, yet they had the same spirit, willingness to help others, share their skills, their money, and time with others. In my mind, there is no better definition of a community than those that hold those values. Jim Rogers once stated, "Those who cannot adjust to change will be swept aside by it. Those who recognize change and react accordingly will benefit." We as residents of this town must react to those changes in a rational, objective manner and work together as a team. As elected officials, we will become the stewards of the village monies, taxes. The services we provide to residents must continue. Our infrastructure is old, in need of repair. Some of our equipment is old and in need of repair also. We must face the changes as factors that will force us to make tough decisions in all departments. Maybe look at our hiring practice. We know that grants are going to be hard to get. We also know that our sales tax checks from the county will be much lower. Yet, I believe, along with the other trustees and the mayor, that after the spirit and hope demonstrated by those who came down to Lot 2 last Saturday, we will get through this with whatever comes our way. I don't know the woman who said, I'm sure people have it worse than I do. But after she left, I said, you know, that 2% raise just got split 50-50, Sacred Heart Pantry and then Holy Innocents. I think we can all do out with things, and let's pull together as a community. Thank you.
Thank you, Glenn. Jim? Joe?
You guys covered it all.
Yeah, I got some things. So Mr. Mayor, you touched on, you spoke to somebody over at DOT. Thanks for doing that. I also put a letter in the paper. Pretty simple, pretty quick. You know, Ms. Livesey, you talked about potholes. So the easiest thing to do was call 1-800-POTHOLE. It's in a letter to the editor. The lady called me right back, left a message on my machine. We played a little phone tag. And after numerous calls back and forth, all she was really looking for was the actual location, 2 streets, somewhere in between there. I gave that to her, and I asked her if she didn't mind how many people actually called the 1-800-POTHOLE number. There was 2 of us. That's it. But you know what? It made a difference, because I do believe they were down there working on the potholes, which is great. So with that being said, I also reached out to the DOT, to Mrs. Carbone, Sippy Zachariah Carbone. And what she did was, again, she responded right back to me in an email, and she sent my request to the resident engineer, who sent me a letter in an email. And he said, I agree, and I am aware that of the pavement condition on Route 218 and also on Route 9W. And I agree 100% with the importance of these roads in relation to the prestigious military academy, not to mention it also being a high tourist attraction. I also see the need for these roads needing to be resurfaced. That is why I have them high on my priority list for my regional office in Poughkeepsie, and the consideration to evaluate them. My residency department is basically a maintenance operation, which besides permits, does potholes and patching. That is why my crews patch them per the resources we have and priorities. However, because of the bad pavement condition on so many of our roads, I have also managed to do resurfacing projects in the past with the help of funding from sources such as the governor's office for elected officials. So, for example, they repaved 218 over the mountain with funds from, God bless his soul, Senator Larkin. However, he said 218 in our area is complicated because of the sidewalks and the curb ramps, which renders it beyond his scope of potential projects. So he can't do that in his projects. But he announced that there's several other factors the department looks at when prioritizing their funds, which is traffic volume. And they keep telling us it's a low traffic volume out there. I don't know if they're out there doing the traffic volume study during football games or other big events at West Point, but if they did, I think it would change the numbers a little bit. So he said, regardless of the effort, he thanked me for the postcards. He thought they were very important to get the light out there, and he hopes it weighs in on the decision up at the governor's office, along with his recommendation to do the roads. So all you got to do is ask. Again, 1-800-POTHOLES. If you see any potholes on state highways, call that number. They're going to call you back. They're just going to ask location. They don't even want to know your name. Just a location between 2 roads, and they'll get down there as soon as possible to fix them. Another thing, last week, I'm not sure if everybody's aware, but it was National Police Officer Week, which was May 10th through the 16th. Last year, 146 officers met their senseless death out there. That's 146 of our brothers, sisters, friends, and people we don't even know. But they're out there protecting us. So during this COVID-19 time, they're still out there, but there's a new threat to them, catching the COVID-19. We all know there's a lot of people out there speeding. You don't need to speed. You know, you don't need to get to any place any faster. All you're doing is creating an issue for them when they're out there. If they have to pull you over and you don't have a mask on. So please, slow down a little bit, give them a little respect. They're doing the same for you out there. So at the last meeting, I did touch on Cornell University. They have the virtual river education. I got a lot of feedback from some residents, and they were so happy that I mentioned that. So go to the Cornell University website for educational things for the children. Also, the American Water Works Association has educational games on their website for the kids. And, you know, it would be remiss not to mention that the DEC also has some information out there. And I'm not sure if everybody knows, but I know I traveled the roads, and in May and in June, turtles are crossing the streets. I mean, they're everywhere. So give the turtle a break. Don't go out there and try to pick them up, because you might get bit. But if you can shoo them along the road with a stick or something, get them off the road. They're just going to look to lay their eggs, and they're an important part of the ecosystem out there. Last but not least, I got a letter and some pictures from one of the local business owners. And Mr. Mayor, you did talk about the village requiring developers to do something. So, here are the pictures of pieces of sheet metal that blew off of the Penn Fed building. This one's right up against a car. This one is right up against the actual entrance. And here's another one that's laying on Main Street. These are large chunks of metal. God forbid that this hits somebody and kills somebody. So if the village has the authority to require a developer to do something, maybe this developer needs to do something with his building. Also,
What building is that?
Pentagon.
Okay,
also,
let's address that.
Also, if the developer is required, like you said, to fix infrastructure, the infrastructure in front of the Penn Fed building, under the ground, doesn't have proper separation distances. So hopefully, we can have the developer fix that underground infrastructure if we have that ability.
Okay, I'll address that.
I went down there.
Okay, I know. He knows it too. Number one, I didn't say, let's make it clear what I said. I was talking about the old, don't look at me that way. I was talking about the Old Guard Hotel. That was an arrangement that we made with them. That doesn't happen with every job in this village. But it did happen with that one, and the mayor pulled off a good one, because the mayor required them to spend, I think it was around $350,000. Tell me what it was.
$345.
$345 on an item that we would have had to correct, but we were putting off. So thank you. Number two.
No, you're wrong. You can be
Okay.
wrong, Mr. Mayor.
Absolutely.
The fact was that the developer came in, knew there was an issue, because I was the planning board chairman, and they offered to fix that drainage infrastructure.
Okay. Now, number two.
Which was a plus for the
No,
village. I
no,
don't want to argue.
No,
with you
I'm not
about
arguing with
that.
you. You see it your way, and I see it my way. Period. It's over with. This discussion doesn't matter. The village made out, whether it's your
And
way
I
or my
totally
way.
agree.
Number two, those large sheets of metal, that was at least 3 or 4 weeks ago. So this is old news. Number two, as soon as I was called, I had John Jones bring me, John, didn't you bring me up there?
Yeah, but
And we looked at it,
I
and
get
then
you.
I mentioned it to Trustee Howard. he went down and saw Bruce, who called Rick in Texas, and that was like within a day, he had that fixed.
It doesn't matter how long ago
Okay.
it was, Mr. Mayor.
Right.
There's a building that
I got
has
called out
issues.
Sunday again because it was on the side.
I know the roof is off of that place now,
I pulled
Three
it,
more.
Sunday I got called
Just
down
happened
there
again.
because there was 3 more pieces on the road.
and he didn't batten down the hatches as good as he was maybe supposed to. I don't know who he called, because he's in Texas, so I don't know who he called to come and fix it. Probably a local, I would assume a local.
You're telling me he called someone to fix
Okay.
it. But it did blow up again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
So, with that being said, you know,
that being said,
again, talking about having entities fix things in the village, I was wondering how old the roof is on Village Hall. We don't need the answer right now. And maybe, just maybe, if we're talking to AT&T or some large corporation entity that's worth a lot of money, maybe we can see how much they would like to contribute to us fixing the roof. Last but not least, there was some issues with an email out there. A local residents took pictures of our DPW with no PPE. And I know we have asked them to wear the PPE, but do they have enough? I believe the DPW probably needs more. They were on a long shift that day. They probably need maybe 5 masks each that day. I was just hoping that we make sure we supply them with enough along with the water and the sewers.
Murph?
I don't have
Yeah,
much.
that was done, so it's okay.
We talked about a lot tonight. The only thing I want to say is that it's a big weekend coming up. I know there's a lot of people that are excited about it. There's a lot of people that want everybody to stay home, but people aren't the same. People want to go out, people want to get fresh air, people want to walk, they want to do everything. The park is open. Just please remember to go out there, socialize at a distance, have your house parties, which I'm sure people are going to. But just remember, just enjoy yourself. Just enjoy yourself this weekend, and just remember what we all want to do, and that's just to keep safe. That's it.
Thank you, Murph.
Yep.
That's the best message tonight.
That's it.
Thank you. I will take a motion to go into executive session for personnel and contracts.
So moved.
Trustee DeSalvo and Trustee Howard.
You want these guys to say?
One, two, three, no. Okay, we're done. Thank you, sir.